All right, welcome, Jay. How you doing today?
Doing well, Marcus. How about yourself, bud?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Now, this is this STEM profile series, and so we talk about science, technology, engineering, and math. And I'm excited to talk to you today, not just because we're family. Shout out to Terry and Benjamin. I know they'll be seeing this too, but because you work in the field of aerospace. Your LinkedIn profile says aerospace professional. The first question is, what is an aerospace professional?
Okay. Well, Marcus, obviously great to be here and talking to the North Star podcast. Got to say that really excited to be a part of this and kind of the some of the inaugural folks on your show. I'd say that an aerospace professional takes on many forms. I'm lucky enough to kind of been worked across broad spectrum of not only with for the federal government, we're also for defense contractors and currently working for an aerospace company that's actually building rovers for the moon. So it's a uh, pretty cool dynamic operation for me to have been seeing a little bit of everything from our national defense to where I'm doing now.
That's awesome, man. And I would imagine there aren't too many Air Force aerospace professionals, relatively speaking. So if somebody wanted to become one, what type of skills and background would they need?
Oh, well, yeah. I'd say that actually I learned today, just attending church this morning, that actually Tuskegee University has the highest count of black aeronautical engineers graduate from Tuskegee. I'm not a grad of Tuskegee, but certainly kind of represent the Tuskegee Airmen in all that I do. But I would say that kind of to be in aerospace, there's a lot of different organizations that folks can kind of become, whether that be working as a mechanic, working as a pilot, working as air traffic controller, or kind of folks like myself who kind of support all things on the ground and also in space.
All right. Well, as specifically, with this being a STEM podcast, um, what kind of was your earliest introduction to STEM that kind of put you on this path?
Oh wow, man. I would say that kind of I grew up in my early days as I was learning how to walk. I grew up right outside Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. And some of my earliest pictures my parents have of me around Wright-Pat has a huge runway that's open to the public, kind of a park. If you think of Central Park, just Central Park with airplanes. And so there are pictures of me standing next to tires of gigantic B-52 jets. And, really that kind of got me inspired. So I always loved airplanes growing up in the DMV, I really got a chance to, kind of see planes going into land at Andrews Air Force Base is also Reagan National. So I was really always excited about airplanes, always looking up. And then kind of from high school, I had a great opportunity to be in the Air Force Junior ROTC program. And that really kind of, great mentors there, great instructors there who kind of put me on the right path to kind of pursue the Air Force as my early career and had a great time doing that. Transitioned over to college and I went to The Ohio State University, also participating in Air Force ROT, senior ROTC programs there. From there, bounced into the Air Force full time as active duty officer for about 7 years and had a great time. Traveled the world like a rock star. Saw a lot of unique and interesting things and realized that I wanted to be a part of the aerospace community for the time I was in the military, but then after I got out as well. That's kind of a thing that stuck with me.
Awesome. Thank you for your service also as well. And you mentioned the Air Force. What skills or do you think that you learned in the Air Force that kind of helped you get to where you are today in STEM?
Oh wow. I'd say kind of, there's so many things that I learned in the Air Force, but one of the things that I kind of think that is the most important is just kind of the ability to be flexible and understand there are many different ways to get to the answer to a problem. There's always the doctrinal the thing that's in the book, but then there's you got to look around and kind of use your team's your team's knowledge can sometimes help you solve a problem a whole lot better than just being by the book, 100% by the book. So that's one thing. And then also kind of just the understand the diversity of knowledge that you get from working as a team. You can be a solo person. A solo, you can only go so far, but as a team, you can go a whole lot farther and be a whole lot more. It'd be a lot more fun to get to the end.
That's great. You know, they say that STEM education promotes creativity, critical thinking skills, and communication skills, among others. So, sounds like you got picked up all of those from being in the Air Force.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, also, you know, as aerospace professional, what type of resources do you use to kind of stay up to date on trends that are happening in the industry?
Oh, well, I would say kind of the community you build is always kind of your own and unique. For me personally, I stay in tune to OBAP. I'm going to give a shout out to them, the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals. They're kind of a group of folks, just like I mentioned earlier, originally formed as a group for pilots, but then kind of broadened out to include people who work in air traffic control, mechanics, the folks who work behind the scenes at airlines, getting things done and making sure people can get from point A to point B safely and effectively. And so I always stay attuned to them. But then also you got to do your professional reading. Aviation Week is a great resource of, kind of it's free, but it's also paywalled for some things. For me now, currently my current job, I always read space news and then kind of and the things that are free. I tend to focus on the things that are free first. So NASA.gov is a great website to kind of read if you just kind of want to get a little bit of inspiration and wonder a little bit. The military, Navy.mil, Air Force.mil, Army.mil, Coast Guard.mil, and of course the Marines.mil, which is under the Navy. You can kind of get a and give a big shout out now to Space Force as well, which is under the Air Force. You can kind of get some great information from those websites, but then kind of just kind of don't just focus in on one particular website. You kind of got to read it from a whole bunch of different angles. And again, always look for different types of opinions and different types of facts from any website you're looking at.
All right, all right. That was good information. Now you talked about growing up close to an Air Force base, and our sons are about the same age. What activities are you involved in him, or just what are you doing generally to kind of introduce him to STEM?
Oh well, STEM for him is a whole lot different than for me. He is an actively interested right now in dinosaurs, and as little kids, actively interested in dinosaurs, and as well as interested in trucks. And so kind of breaking that down and showing him how things work is super important, but also kind of just exposing him to a whole bunch of at this age. I don't want to segment him into certainly I'd love if he works like that and works in the aerospace field, but if he wants to be a paleontologist or Indiana Jones, I'm cool with that too. I don't think there are going to be any dinosaurs that haven't been found by the time he's old enough, but at this point he might find a new one and hopefully named after dad.
All right, all right. Now that's good. And now I also, you know, knowing you growing up, I know that you were also a musician early on. So how would you say that? Because music is also by some considered a science. So how
Yeah.
would you say your musical upbringing also kind of influenced your STEM
Oh yeah, well yeah,
perspective?
definitely. I would say, and we're talking obviously this is a STEM podcast, but STEAM is also kind of the A for arts is vitally important. I work with some talented people now who are who are actually in their previous lives design cars. So the art aspect of being able to draw. I can't draw for anything, but somebody who's able to draw very well is important. The musical kind of creativity and also being able to paint and the kind of the sculpture, those things are very vitally important, and they all flow together pretty well to kind of balance out what I'm doing now, what our company is doing now. And really you need somebody to do a clay model of a car. You go to a person who does sculpture. The computer can do and CAD drawings can do a great job, and now with the 3D printing and additive manufacturing, you can do a great job. But sometimes that clay model, you can shave off a couple inches here or there and figure out what the out product is going to look like a whole lot cheaper than building a whole car with metal.
All right, excellent, excellent. All right, Joe, Jay, well that's all we got for today. Thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us.
Marcus, hey, it's been a pleasure. I'm happy to be a part of your team and happy to be a part of this podcast. And good luck to you guys in the future. And I'll tell everyone, STEM is for everybody. Be sure and resources are out there available. Look for great mentors and also kind of believe in yourself. There's no one single path to being in the aerospace industry. Look for what your passion is and flow from there.